Hey, how's it going out there today, everybody? Hope everybody's having a great day. I want to talk to you today about this 12-volt heater fan defroster. Got me a RoadPro here. I got this because in the morning there's a little bit of a gap between when my bunk heater cuts off and I crank my truck. So when I crank my truck, my bunk heater turns off. Now it blows hot air for a minute or two, but when you're in Minnesota and the wind is blowing 30 miles an hour and it's 2 degrees outside, it gets pretty cold in here pretty quick. So it probably takes the truck, a good 15-20 minutes before it gets warm enough to start blowing any kind of heat. So I bought this little heater here just as like a go-between. I don't expect this heater to heat this truck and sleeper berth, the cab and the sleeper. I just bought this as like kind of like if I plug this in when I turn my truck on and have it blow some heat in here, maybe it can just kind of counteract it before it gets really cold in here, but let's get it unpacked and see what we're dealing with. All right, we got the RoadPro unpackaged here. It's the RoadPro portable heater defroster. It comes with the handy dandy handle over here, I guess, in case you're going to, if you've got to use this as a defroster, it's a glorified hair dryer. Let's face it. It's a low wattage hair dryer. As you can see there, it's got a little cage fan in it, but it's got a little handle here, in case you decide, you want to defrost your windshield or whatever. Comes with a little base to stand on. I guess that's where you can put that. You can put this little glue pad it comes with and permanently mount it. It's got some screws that come with it. I'm not interested in all that. I just want to have it, to blow some air, hot air. I will say this cord on this thing is stiff as crap. The cord pretty much tells the heater what to do. But yeah, there's the mountain hardware. If you want to get a size aspect on it, we'll compare it. There's an Altoid 10. So it's about that size. It's not very big. Like I said, I don't have high hopes for this. This thing's 150 watts. I took a shot on it for 20 bucks at Thornton's. It was marked down $7 with an instant rebate. So, took a shot on it. Just said, hey, I'm going to go with it. I'm going to give it a shot. So let's plug her in here. And we got two modes on here. You got just to blow air. Let's see, how would that work? I guess that's just to blow air, and there is your heater part. Sorry, the cord makes this thing almost impossible to maneuver. Yeah, that's your fan, that's your heater. Let's kick her on. Let's see what she's got. We'll go fan mode first. I don't know if you guys can hear that. It's a pretty weak fan. Let's face it, that's a weak ass fan. Like I said, a little squirrel cage fan in there. Yeah, that's not moving a lot of air. Let's kick her over to heat and see what she's got. See what she's made of. Like I said, I don't have high hopes for this. If it can blow a little heat into the truck while I'm waiting on the, the truck to warm up in the morning, or when I show up at the yard, when I show up at the yard. Sometimes, like the other day, I hopped in my truck, it was 1 degree outside, so it is super cold in here. And, you're sitting there waiting for the truck to heat up. And I go sit in my personal vehicle and, sit there and wait, 10 minutes until everything gets a little warm in here. But I thought, it'd be nice to have just something blowing hot air in here. That way, like if I need to get in here and do my paperwork or whatever, I got a little hot air blowing in here. Now, like I said, I don't see this heating the sleeper or the cab. But I thought, if I set this thing up on the dash and have it blowing right at me, it may keep me a little warm while I'm waiting on the truck to warm up. But I'll give it a day or two. I'll let you know how it works out. All right, so I want to wrap up the RoadPro heater defroster review. Let's face it, if I had my $20 back in my hand, would I go buy this again? No, I would not. Am I taking this back? Yes, I am. it just doesn't provide enough heat, I don't think. I mean, I didn't have high hopes for 150 watt to really put out some heat, but you know, sometimes you're like impressed by little cheap things like this. I'm not impressed by this one. My thought is, here's why I bought this. So when I crank my truck in the morning, it shuts off my bunk heater. It can get really cold in here if it's cold and windy. Like the other day, it was 1 degree, you know, outside. It took a minute for the truck to get warm. I said, okay, it'd be nice to have some electric heat in here while I wait for this truck to get warm. And so I found this, I bought this, they had it marked down. I said, okay, I'll take a shot at it. I'll take it back, because my thought is, I've got a power inverter in this truck, so I'll just go to, like, you know, Menards or Home Depot or Lowe's or Walmart, somewhere that sells electric heaters, and I'll buy like 1,000 watt electric heater, and that will heat this truck, you know. And also, say the bunk heater goes out and, you know, something's wrong with the truck, you know, you break down, it provides an extra, you know, source of heat. You'd freeze to death with this thing. I mean, you would have to constantly keep it about 3 inches from your body and just continually do this, you know. Now, the 800,000 watt one will run the batteries down quicker, so it won't be like I'll be running that on a cold night. The bunk heater is very efficient. I get pretty much an entire 24 hours of heat for about a gallon of diesel with that bunk heater. So that's the way to heat your truck, you know, long term. But I thought, hey, in between bunk heater and truck warming up, this might be a nice little in-between gadget here. It just don't put out enough heat. It just doesn't. You know, this is a hand warmer at best, you know. Like, you can see, I mean, you can sit right up on it and it's not going to burn you. It just doesn't put out enough heat at 150 watts. So, I'll just take this bag, get the $20 bag, go buy me a little cheap, you know, like, heater I can plug into my power inverter, and that'll warm the truck while I wait for the truck to warm up in the morning. So basically, when I get up in the morning, I'll just kick on the inverter, it'll kick the heater on, and yeah, we'll get heat from that, and we won't have to sit here and be cold in between the bunk heater going off and the truck cranking. But this thing, guys, failing grade. Fail. I would give this thing maybe 2 out of 10. If that, maybe a 2 out of 10, you know. Say your ears are a little, say you're in your truck and it's maybe 50 degrees and you want to warm your ears up a little bit. Maybe, but other than that, this thing's useless. This thing's useless. You get it 2 foot away, you can't even feel the heat from it. So, it's definitely not going to do anything to keep you warm. Like, my thought was I was going to, like, set it on the dash, you know, while I sit here and do my paperwork or whatever. It would be pointless. I mean, you couldn't even feel the heat from it. Especially, you know, in a truck, if it's cold outside, especially windy, you know, that air is getting right in the truck. So, yeah, epic fail. Be coming at you, Thorntons, for my $20 back on the RoadPro heater here. It just doesn't have the juice. It just doesn't have the juice. It tries, but, you know, you can see how small the heater element is in there. So, that's it, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Don't waste your money on these guys. I don't know. Mileage may vary, but I'm not impressed with it. I'd rather have $20 than have this. And until later, guys, be sure to hit that like button. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. Come join me for a live show. Do a lot of those. I enjoy doing those. Hope everybody else enjoys watching those. And take care of each other. Later.